Nico, this is a bit of a departure for the Rio Grande Guardian International News Service. We're doing sports today. It's everybody who can see your shirt. We're here to talk about Argentina's World Cup win, but I want to start before this fantastic final we all just watched. In the run-up to the World Cup, Argentina hadn't lost many games. In fact, they were undefeated for 20, 30 games. So going into the World Cup, were you, as an Argentinian and an Argentinian soccer fan, were you confident?
Absolutely. We knew we had the best players and we knew we were going to be successful. Let me correct that. Of course not. We, as every country, and you know that every country, when World Cup happens, is a big issue for all the nations. You want to support your team, and you know that they have been working hard, but you also know that everybody else has been working very, very hard to get to that point. So you go supporting with your heart and with your mind and with your soul to your team, knowing that every other country is going to be doing the same for their own team. And that is what makes it exciting. And even in the final, you know, until the last penalty goal, we didn't know if we were going to win or not. The starting of the World Cup was terrible for us. The first game that we played with a team that was perceived to be not the favorite, if you will, for the whole tournament, make us come down humble, to be super humble about that. Perhaps that is something to learn and to it's good to be reminded. Is you work very hard, you know that you want to win, but at the same time you know that others are doing the same, and there are surprises. That is what soccer or football is about.
And for those that weren't following the World Cup at the very beginning, what Nico's referring to there is the fact that Argentina unbelievably lost their first game in the World Cup finals to Saudi Arabia. And people say that's the biggest shock in World Cup tournament history, given where Saudi Arabia is ranked and where Argentina is ranked. That must have come as a big shock to you.
You know, sometimes when those perceptions are being said, a shock of humbleness, that's the trick. And so, yes, we were the favorites. The same happened with other teams like, you know, like England.
Germany.
Like England, like Germany,
Spain.
Like Brazil, like Spain, like Portugal. You have to be rooted. You have to be, I think that at least what we learn as a team, not only as followers, but our team too, is that you have to have a shock of humbleness, you have to go back to basic, and you have to realize that the job is not done until it's done. Never before. You have to keep pushing, you have to be giving 100% until the last second.
And so after that defeat by Saudi Arabia, your manager changed the team, brought some very young players in that were not expected to be in the starting lineup, and as the tournament progressed, you just got better and better.
And that is true, but in a way, if you were to look at Argentina and our teams too that are successful, the long way, what happens is that you give the newer guys the opportunity since they're there anyways, and that is what creates the Messi of tomorrow. Messi today was a little kid when Maradona was our first best player, and so this tournament was not only good because it gave us the cup on this World Cup, but it has given us 5, 6, 7 new players that are going to be the Argentina of the future, and that is very exciting. We are just looking forward to. I am looking forward to see how they evolve. I mean, we can't wait to see them in the future.
Mm-hmm. So let's move on to the final itself. Perhaps some people were surprised because France, your opponents, were the world champions.
Yeah.
How well Argentina started, and at the end of the first half, you're 2 goals up and playing incredible football, and France just can't get started.
It was even shocking, you know. It's like they haven't realized that what they were doing, that they were playing the final of the World Cup, and I think that again, what we got from Saudi Arabia the first game, they got with us in the first half of the last game. They need to realize they have a shock of humbleness. They had to reassess the situation, and then they were able to give 100% of what they have, which made overall made it for a great show for everybody. Although I should I should visit my cardiologist more often because that was. Sorry.
Have you ever seen a better team goal than that second goal from Di Maria?
I don't think so.
What a goal!
I don't think so. I mean, those are awesome. Those are. It felt like when we were kids and we were playing with our friends in the neighborhood, and somebody did something awesome like that. And as a kid, you get super excited. It was almost like seeing kids playing pure magic again. It was fantastic.
And so we get to about the 80th minute of the game, and Argentina in the second half are just comfortably handling things, strolling through. You're 10 minutes away from a 2-0 victory, 2-0 victory, and Mbappe, the French star, changes things around. But in an earlier game against the Netherlands, you let go a two-goal lead, and so did that surprise you? You must have been very concerned that the momentum had completely shifted to drop a 2-goal margin so quickly.
Oh, it was super concerning, and in Argentina they always say that every Argentinian is a DT. Like if you were to read the newspapers, usually everybody has an opinion, and so obviously we all had our opinions. Should we push forward or should we be 100%, defensive? And so first it was very scary, but also it was, it was a mind exercise of what do? We do more defensive, or we go into the attack to defend, the opportunity. And so I'm happy that everything played out the way it did. It did for the French too. And so it was very exciting, and I mean, a game to remember forever.
I think the manager taking Di Maria off, that showed that he was wanting to be more defensive, but that outlet that Di Maria provided on the left wing, that was gone. You'd taken him out of the game, taken him off the pitch, and so you were settling for that 2-0 scoreline.
Yeah.
And once you drop those, you concede those 2 goals, Di Maria's not there to provide an attacking outlet again.
Yeah, that was very concerning. It was like, oh, how do we grow from here? But hey.
But in that extra time, there was only one team in it again.
Yeah.
Argentina were back.
Yeah.
You composed yourself in the break. At full time, you get a chance to have a team discussion, etc., with all the manager and the coaches and everything, and you come out in the extra time, and again, I know Argentina scored and then France scored another penalty, but throughout that extra time, Argentina was the team looking to win it.
Yeah, and at that point, I think that it is more about the individuals, know-how and capabilities, and the ability to work as a whole, and so that team is very consolidated. They have the huge experience that Messi and the other top ones or older people are bringing to the team, but they have been good mentors and coaches to the younger ones. And so as a whole, as a group, as a team, they were able to compensate ones for the others, and they knew each other so well that they were able to adapt and to be able to find the opportunities as they materialize.
Okay, and so then we move on to the penalty shootout. It's sudden death. What were your feelings going into that? I, as a viewer, a spectator, a neutral, I was pretty confident with Argentina. You brought Dybala on just to be to take a penalty in the shootout. What do you think? Do you think you could pull it off in the penalty shootout?
It was crazy. I mean, especially when we shoot the first one and the whole progression of things, it was like one after another one, and do we get this? We don't. It was very, very nerve-wracking. I mean, we need to have a good health for surviving as fans these kind of games. But they were exciting.
Your goalkeeper, Martinez.
Fantastic.
Incredible.
He's awesome. I mean, he's gonna be in places in the next 4 years. But no, I mean, he did a great job. Everybody, all of them did a great job. I was telling you off the camera too. The technical team, some of them are from my hometown actually, and to see how well they have developed this team and how good they have been working on the physical, technical, and also on the mental strength of the team. That to me, which I am a little bit of a thinker, was the main achievement of the whole team. I mean, they were able to be able for the whole team to adapt to the different instances for all of them. I mean, the goalkeeper, el arquero, the goalkeeper, was also very strong mentally to be able to raise to the occasion and do the best thing that he could, and he did great. And so it was.
Were you telling
awesome.
me earlier that quite a few of the players are from small towns in Argentina, and therefore they've got more? Maybe they are more humble. They are more grounded.
Yeah. Fair comment? It is. That is something that perhaps is not so known about Argentina as a whole, as a society. You do hear about, like every country, the capital, Buenos Aires, is a huge city. But this team, not only in soccer, but also in basketball with Ginobili, have a lot of their players coming from smaller communities. So in the case of Pablo Aimar, which is the second in the line of the technical team, he's from my hometown, Rio Cuarto, in Cordoba. I mean, and Pablito, he grew up in Rio Cuarto. His family was known with the whole city. Everybody knows them. They would come to my family store to buy their furniture. They would go to my friend's restaurant every Sunday for the family lunches. And they are very approachable, very down to earth. They were raised in small towns, 50,000, 100,000 like mine. And now they are, going around, playing soccer or football, having such a great time, and still being super humble. And it is kind of a pleasure, if you will, to feel like they are actually, in the personal way, the way they project themselves, very humble, very down to earth, is how they truly are. And that makes you, as somebody who grew up in those parts, very happy, because they represent us very well on the field and outside too, and that is fantastic.
Just a couple more questions. We can't go through this whole video without talking about your number 10, a certain player that makes things happen. Lionel
You mean Diego?
Well, I was going to ask you now. I mean, I'm going to ask you, the final question is going to be about the fantastic celebrations going on in Argentina now, and I think today's a national holiday.
It's a national holiday.
Yeah.
I should be here.
You shouldn't even be here at work, that's right. But first of all, on Messi, in Argentina, I'm told that the older generation still thinks Maradona's the best ever.
Yeah.
The younger generation is Lionel Messi.
Yes.
Your thoughts?
And so that is exactly right. I mean, we have Diego was the number one forever. Definitely for me, even. I am in the middle of the generations right now. But Leo is also growing up in my heart. And so the older ones do feel more represented by Diego. The younger ones are thinking more about Messi. We will have to see what the babies of today think about the guys that have been started their career in the Argentinian team now in 2022. We are waiting for who is going to replace Leo. We have a few candidates already.
Yeah, because he's coming to the end of his career. So the reaction back home, we've seen all the videos and the images of the Argentinian, the whole country out in the streets cheering and everything.
Yeah.
Football means so much in Argentina, and I know your mother's just come over here. So what's it like back in your country today? Oh,
it is crazy, the personal experience. My mother was on the plane when the game was being played, and so American Airlines did awesome. They played the game for the plane, and so they were all celebrating, flight attendants, pilots, passengers. It was great. So she knew what was going on while she was flying to America that day. But yeah, in Argentina is passion, and there is something that I want to say too in a second. That is a good message for America. But it was a total celebration. The country was not working during the game. You couldn't find anything. Everything was closed. Then everybody's in the street celebrating. millions and millions of people, not only in Buenos Aires but in all the other towns, were were celebrating everywhere. And now the team is coming back, and so it was decreed. They decided to make it a national holiday for all those who want, and it's going to be millions, to go to the airport and receive this team that brings, the whole trophy to the country, and that is awesome. But there is another lecture that I would like to add to, and that is that a country like Argentina is going through something similarly socially and politically than what is going on in the US. There is a fracture. Some people are not working, some people in one political view do not truly talk with the other ones. And that has been very destructive in this country, in Argentina, for more than 20 years, actually. Since I moved here in 2000, this fracture happened, and it has been very difficult for the country to come together. But the World Cup did it. And so, and the message that this is giving to the Argentinians is that a consolidated team that has one objective, that can talk to each other, that can talk like a team, can achieve great things. And so the challenge for Argentina is to be able to translate that, unify Argentinian national union to other aspects of society and economy. And I wonder if that is also something nice to keep an eye here in America, where there has been a little bit of a fracture, if you will. How to find a way to talk to each other, how to find a way to coordinate our efforts, to look for the future, to look for a national objective, to keep our America fantastic, and that way hopefully be able to keep moving forward. Argentina on half of my heart, America on the other.
Well, Nico, thank you so much for today's interview. I've really enjoyed talking about what many of us, all the pundits are saying was the best World Cup final ever. So exciting, fantastic advertisement for the global brand of football.
Yeah, no, it was a pleasure. It was so much fun, so much exciting, and so I appreciate you giving me this space, and I'm happy that here in the Rio Grande Valley, hopefully people were able to have some fun too.
Thank you so much.